Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal 119 based on novel. So let's start. After leaving the Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief's mansion, Molahai's eyes were filled with joy. Many times he wanted to speak, but he hesitated, and in the end he didn't say a word. After returning to the Mo mansion, Molahai took deep breath, his eyes filled with sincerity, and he said, "Brother Wang, I'll be depending on you during the Demon General competition. I will remember this favor." This was the first time Molahai had spoken to Wang Lin in this tone. In his mind, Wang Lin was no longer equal to him but someone who could force the Vice Commander-in-Chief to retreat several steps with just one spell. Molahai believed that with Wang Lin's help, he could sweep the competition. He understood Wang Lin's spell the most and was extremely shocked. Along the way back, he kept thinking about that spell and imagined himself facing against it. In the end, no matter what, he would lose. Wang Lin's expression wasn't arrogant or proud, he remained calm. At this moment, he smiled and said, "Brother Mo, since I agreed on this matter, I'll definitely help you." Molahai laughed. He was obviously very happy and smiled. "Brother Wang, I have some ancient wine that's been buried for 500 years. Tonight, the two of us will have a drink." Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and he smiled as he nodded. At this moment, at the Sword Pavilion at the center of Sky Demon City, a person wearing yellow robes appeared. He looked at the Imperial Sword Pavilion and smiled. "Played enough. Don't go to Hong Prison anymore, settle down for a few days." The silver sword inside the formation released several bursts of sword hymns as if it was unwilling to give up. The person laughed. "If you keep being naughty, I'll send you to the Dragon Lake." The Emperor's sword suddenly stopped making sounds as if it had lost all its arrogance and let out a few feeble sword hymns. Although it was acting like this, its anger toward the food that dared to provoke it became even stronger. After the Emperor's sword stopped going to Hong Prison, the Scarlet World at the bottom slowly recovered. More felons were thrown in, and the cycle of slaughter began once more. A black-haired man sat in the blood pool in silence. Strands of killing intent continued to enter his body, and the killing aura around him became stronger and stronger. He would occasionally raise his head, and there was a hint of clarity inside his bloodshot eyes. "I must escape, like him." When the slaughter began, everyone in the blood pool flew into the air and began killing each other. The black-haired man was like the god of slaughter. His eyes were filled with thick killing intent and his moves were vicious as he swept through like a raging dragon. After the endless slaughter finished, there was only the black-haired man left in the sky. The people that had just revived all had a calm expressions and didn't even look up at the sky. The blood mist around the black-haired youth was hundreds of feet wide. He took a deep breath and revealed a rare hint of clarity before bolting toward the exit. When he only moved several feet, there was a flash of silver light, and the silver dragon suddenly appeared and threw out its huge claw. The black-haired man inside the blood mist revealed a bitter smile. He used a voice only he could hear and softly said, "Explode." With one word, his entire body suddenly exploded. Even the blood mist around him exploded, and the force met the silver dragon's claw. A loud echo filled the area. The silver dragon retracted its claws and there were many injuries on its claw. This was like pouring oil on fire, as the silver dragon's hatred for Wang Lin ignited once more. As for the black-haired man, he revived at one of the blood pools, then he lowered his head and pondered. The silver dragon let out an angry roar and then its gaze landed on the black-haired man. It let out another roar and a ray of sword energy shot out at the blood pool. The blood pool shattered and the black-haired youth inside died. This cycle repeated. Every time he revived, the silver dragon killed him. After doing this many times, the silver dragon revealed a proud expression and then disappeared. Since the demon emperor wouldn't let it go to Hong Prison and it was told to stay still for a few days, it decided to vent its anger here. Let's not talk about Hong Prison for now. There was only half a month left until the battle between the demon generals. There was an oppressive aura around the entire Sky Demon City, and the various demon generals were making their own preparations. Aside from the normal preparations, there were also a lot of behind-the-scenes preparations. Whether it was making secret deals or secretly making moves, The demon emperor completely ignored it all. Although there was order in the demon spirit land, hidden in this order was endless chaos. This was a chaotic time. The battle between the demon generals was very important because this was a heavenly opportunity for the demon generals to move up. If they missed this chance, it might mean they will forever be stuck at the rank of demon general. As a result, these demon generals cared about this matter to an unprecedented degree. Becoming vice commander-in-chief means having the qualifications to become a commander-in-chief in the future. In order to achieve this qualification, any method will be used. Although it was a time of chaos, there was still order in this chaos. There was only one rule, and that was that the demon generals couldn't have life and death battles, or else they would be disqualified from the demon general competition. As a result, all of the schemes fell on the helpers of each demon general. Killing the helpers is the same as breaking that demon general's right arm, and for some it even crushes their means to win. Killing the demon general's helpers became the public fight, and the fight in secret was to assassinate the demon generals. Demon generals couldn't kill each other, but their helpers could. They could even hire assassins to do so, and this wouldn't break the rule. However, although this wasn't against the rules, it went against the demon emperor's bottom line. So unless the person who killed the demon general had heavenly cultivation, even if you gave that person wings, it would be hard for that person to escape. They will die without a doubt. After all, the death of a demon general was a big matter for the country. It wouldn't be wrong to say that anyone who relies on assassination is completely desperate. These battles in public and in secret became even more intense as the competition drew closer. Mo Lihai rarely went out and spent most of the day in closed-door cultivation. This allowed him to stay in peak condition and also deliberately avoid many assassination attempts. At the same time, he also set up a formation and arranged many of his old subordinates with high cultivation levels to guard him. During this oppressive time, only Wang Lin was completely calm. His life didn't change. He went out every morning and sat by the river to listen to the zither music. It was as if all this oppression and movement before the great battle were just like passing clouds. Only the zither music was important to him. Every time he heard the zither music, he would be completely immersed in it and would go through a strange experience. Every day, his heart was being cleansed. Wang Lin wasn't worried about whether Mo Lihai would be assassinated or not. Mo Lihai was extremely cunning and had far more hands to play than what he currently showed. Wang Lin was very clear about this matter after interacting with him for this long. If Mo Lihai didn't have his methods, there would be no way for him to still be alive while being at the top of demon generals. Wang Lin listened to the zither music from the boat with his eyes closed as he sat beside the river. He picked up the wine jug only to find that it was already empty. He let out a sigh as he opened his eyes and silently looked up at the sky. Every time he heard this zither music, his heart would tremble and he would have the vague feeling of a breakthrough. Unfortunately, his comprehension of the heavens was too ethereal. While listening to the zither music, Wang Lin slowly immersed himself in the music and silently experienced it. The celestial spiritual energy in his body was already used to hiding itself. After all, there was still the demon emperor's sword looking for him. However, just at this moment, he frowned. He was interrupted during his comprehension of the heavens and enjoyment of the music. "You are Mo Lihai's vice-general?" A voice filled with contempt forced itself through the zither music and completely shattered the mood of the music. A black-robed man was standing 100 feet from Wang Lin. He had his hand before his chest and a snake-like sword circling him. There was also a trace of impatience on his face. "You may attack. Killing you would be the same as taking one of Mo Lihai's arms." Wang Lin put down the wine jug, but he didn't get up or even look at the person. He pointed his right thumb at the person and the finger of death suddenly shot out as a ray of black light. The moment the black light came out, the surrounding grass immediately withered and the life force from the grass silently entered the black light. The black light quickly closed in on the black-robed man. His expression suddenly changed and he quickly retreated a few steps. Then the flying sword circling him shot toward the black light in a flash. However, at the moment it touched the black light, the sword began to crack from the tip. The black light pierced through the sword until even the hilt collapsed. The flying sword was turned into countless small fragments in almost an instant. The black-robed man revealed a look of disbelief as he continued to retreat. Unfortunately, he was too slow. The black light broke through the flying sword and landed on the black-robed man's chest. This person's body was thrown far away in an arc, and blood mist erupted from his body on the way. Even after the man fell to the ground, the blood mist stayed in the sky. When the black-robed man fell on the ground, his eyes revealed a hint of remorse before they went completely dim. At the same time, a strand of grey gas came out from his body and disappeared into Wang Lin's right hand. This person wasn't a foreigner but a person of demon spirit land. This person's cultivation level wasn't high, he was only at the level of a late-stage soul formation cultivator. He was probably sent by some demon general that didn't know him as a way of scouting him. Wang Lin continued to listen to that zither music. On the second floor of a 2-story restaurant 10,000 feet across the river from Wang Lin, 2 people sat by the window, and their gazes turned toward Wang Lin. Both men were wearing black robes. One of them was older while the other was a bit young. The older man said, "Very strong." The young man's eyes lit up as he slowly said, "That person should be at the soul transformation stage. No matter what his cultivation level is, since the ancestor wants to catch him, he can't get away." The older man picked up his cup and took a drink. The older man then said, "Send the people over, don't make the ancestor wait." The young man faintly smiled and gently knocked the table. With that knock, one of the several people wearing black robes that was sitting on the first floor stood up. This person was middle-aged and had star-like eyes. He walked out of the restaurant and flew toward Wang Lin in a ray of sword energy. Wang Lin was sitting beside the river. The boat was halfway across the river, but bursts of zither music still entered his ears. He was completely immersed in it, and his face revealed a sense of peace. The sword energy carried a powerful killing intent as it flew toward Wang Lin. Right now there wasn't a single person within a few kilometers. It was as if this area was deserted. The boat on the river seemed to have noticed this abnormality and immediately sped up. The sword energy suddenly closed in and crossed the 10,000 feet in an instant. All of the grass around Wang Lin tilted to one side as if there was a powerful wind. The strong bursts of whistling sounds mixed with the zither music had its own charm. Wang Lin still didn't turn his head or even looked at the person. He raised his right thumb at the incoming sword energy and once again used the finger of death. The ray of black light shot out once more. It was extremely quick as it charged at the sword energy. In almost an instant, the two sides collided. A groan came from the sword energy as it collapsed, revealing the figure of a man. His face was extremely pale, and he coughed out a mouthful of blood before retreating like crazy. Almost without any hesitation, he retreated even more. However, the finger of death was too fast, so it caught up to the person in a flash and imprinted in his chest. The man let out a roar and released a large amount of demonic spiritual energy. His body was forced to land, but he continued to be pushed back. In the end, the demonic spiritual energy around him collapsed, and he coughed out blood once more and fell to the ground. A strand of grey gas flew out from his body toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin still didn't bother to pay attention to where the finger of death went and continued to silently listen to the zither music. In the restaurant 10,000 feet away, the young man immediately stood up and stared at Wang Lin on the other side of the river. After a long time, he took a deep breath and then sat back down. Only the older man's expression was still the same as before. The younger man said, in a serious tone, "He has restrained his energy, so we can't see his exact cultivation level." The older man stared at Wang Lin and slowly said, "This person's cultivation level should be at the mid-stage of soul transformation. Only then could he have killed number 4, who had the same cultivation level as an early-stage soul transformation cultivator, like this. Send number 3. The young man's eyes lit up, revealing a hint of battle intent. He shook his head and softly said, "No need to send number 3, I'll go." As he spoke, he stood up once more and looked at Wang Lin. "You." The older man frowned. "Don't forget, I'm number 2. The young man walked down the restaurant. Number 2's cultivation level is equivalent to a late-stage soul transformation cultivator, and he is only a sliver away from the peak of the late stage of soul transformation. With him going, This battle has no suspense. The older man picked up the wine cup and didn't even look across the river anymore. As the young man walked out from the restaurant, a breeze from the river blew his clothes back. He walked against the wind as he slowly made his way toward Wang Lin. He walked across the 10,000 feet distance very calmly, as if he was walking in his own garden. Every step he took increased his aura's strength as if it would continue to increase endlessly. He stopped 300 feet from Wang Lin. The current him was completely surrounded by demonic spiritual energy, but what was strange was that there was some celestial spiritual energy mixed in with his demonic spiritual energy. The fusion of celestial and demonic spiritual energies created a strange aura that slowly filled the area. He stood there like he was the master of this space, as if he could make the world change colors with a wave of his hand. Wang Lin didn't look at the person. The boat on the river slowly disappeared into the distance, and the sound of the zither music slowly entered his ears and gave him a special feeling. As for the person 300 feet away, Wang Lin casually waved his hand and the finger of death appeared once more. The finger of death materialized as a ray of black light once more before Wang Lin and shot toward the young man like a bolt of lightning. The young man chuckled. Instead of retreating, he took a step forward and his right hand formed a seal. The celestial demonic spiritual energy around him immediately condensed near his hand and formed a ball of light the size of his fist. The moment the ball of light appeared was when the finger of death arrived. The two sides collided without any hesitation, and the black light of the finger of death seemed to be absorbed into the ball of light. The young man said, "You overestimate yourself." However, just as he finished speaking, his expression changed. A strand of black mist suddenly appeared in the ball of light. In almost an instant, the black mist filled the ball and it turned into a black ball of light. At the same time, cracks appeared on the ball. The young man's expression turned gloomy as the ball shattered and the black light charged directly at him. As he quickly retreated, his hand formed seals, and one by one balls of light appeared. In almost an instant, more than 100 balls of light appeared and went to block the ray of black light. The black light continued to disappear and reappear while the balls of light continued to collapse one after the other. However, every time a ball of light collapsed, the black light would become dimmer. When there were only 8 balls of light left, the ray of black light completely disappeared. The youth's forehead was covered in sweat as he took a deep breath, looked at Wang Lin, who still hadn't looked at him yet, and said, "I presume this black light spell is your strongest move. I admit this spell is indeed powerful, no wonder numbers 4 and 5 died. However, now that your strongest spell was broken by me, I want to see what other moves you have." At this moment, the boat gradually disappeared into the distance and the zither music disappeared from Wang Lin's ears. Wang Lin stood up and turned toward the young man. He suddenly opened his eyes, revealing a trace of red within them. Then slaughter aura shot out from Wang Lin's eyes like a sharp sword. Rumble, rumble, rumble. It was as if countless thunderbolts had suddenly appeared in the young man's mind. It was as if real thunderbolts had appeared above the peaceful river. A monstrous killing intent shot out from Wang Lin's eyes and immediately pierced through the young man's celestial demonic spiritual energy, entered through his eyes, and imprinted into his mind. His body stiffened as if he had been hit by lightning and his limbs began to tremble uncontrollably. This is... The young man's heart trembled and his scalp felt numb. There was a sensation of pain from between his brows as if a sword had pierced through his forehead. The young man could clearly hear his heartbeat quickly speed up, and he felt like his mind was about to collapse. Then his body turned cold as if he was facing an enemy naked. The powerful aura he had created as he walked over completely collapsed with just one gaze. All of the black-robed men that were looking over from the first floor of the restaurant revealed looks of shock. Although they were all far away, it felt like they were right there at this moment. The sweat coming out from their bodies immediately soaked their clothes. With their cultivation levels, they had no idea why this happened, why a gaze from 10,000 feet away could make it feel like there was a sword at their throats and make it feel like death was closing in on them. It was as if that man 10,000 feet away had turned into the god of slaughter. On the second floor, the older man's eyes lit up, then he quickly stood up and immediately caused the table before him to explode. His calm face suddenly changed greatly. The celestial demonic spiritual energy in his body surged like a raging dragon by instinct. Everything he did was subconscious. He felt like if he hadn't resisted against that gaze, he would have been seriously injured and would have died. His eyes were filled with uncertainty. The killing intent from that gaze just now was also solid. Tao of slaughter. This is the Tao of slaughter. How many people has that person killed to have the kind of gaze where the killing intent almost feels solid? He is very strong, very strong. His gaze toward Wang Lin became very serious, and he only ever looked this serious when he was facing the celestial guardians. Simply too terrifying. Although my cultivation level is the same as his, I'm definitely not a match for him. I must quickly leave. This person didn't hesitate. His body moved and was about to teleport, but he was immediately forced out of the void. His expression changed greatly, and he no longer tried to teleport and immediately got up. The celestial demonic spiritual energy he released at this moment made the second floor collapse. He burst out from the restaurant and was about to flee no matter what the cost. But he immediately stopped in the sky as cold sweat came out from his entire body. Wang Lin was 10 feet before him, calmly looking at him. You disturbed my cultivation and still want to leave? The older man revealed a bitter smile, and his eyes contained a hint of madness. Without any hesitation, he touched the seal he was never willing to touch in his life, and the celestial demonic spiritual energy in his body immediately exploded. A destructive aura surrounded the collapsing restaurant, creating a series of rumbling sounds. After the loud explosion, everything within 1,000 feet was completely silent. Wang Lin appeared 1,000 feet away. Although his expression was normal, there was a hint of gloominess in his eyes. He gently patted the dust off his cloth and then walked into the distance. On the river, the young man's body slowly fell as strands of grey gas came out from his body and chased after Wang Lin. A chuckle came from a very elegant palace in the imperial city of Sky Demon City. Could it be that this little fellow wants to challenge Mo Lehigh to battle with him before the Demon General competition begins and wishes to use the military merit he earned while fighting against the Fire Demon country, so I can't refuse him? This brat is interesting, I'll allow it. Another old voice appeared in the palace. This Demon Emperor, if the two of them set a precedent, I'm afraid the other demon generals will. If anyone else has 10,000 military merit points, then I'll allow them to do it too. Yes. Shortly after, an old man walked out from the palace holding a scroll. He shook his head slightly and then quickly left. The day of the Demon General competition grew closer and closer. The entire Sky Demon City was surrounded by an oppressive atmosphere, and there were countless battles every day. Wang Lin was sitting on the side of the river as he put down the wine jug, looked at the sky, and muttered to himself, "This is a game. A game in the Demon Emperor's eyes." In the Demon Emperor's view, the foreigners are killing each other with the goal of helping the demon generals to obtain a higher position. This is the best kind of game. Wang Lin took a drink. His eyes were filled with clarity. He pondered for a bit before standing up and gradually walking away. It was already the 7th day, so there were still 8 days until the Demon General competition. It was now dusk, and because of the oppressive aura around Sky Demon City, there were fewer and fewer pedestrians. A young man wearing a green robe was slowly walking toward the Mo Mansion from 1,000 feet away. This person carried a large sword behind his back, and his expression was extremely calm as he walked toward the Mo Mansion. As he closed in, a faint amount of celestial spiritual energy slowly spread out. At the same time, an oppressive aura surrounded the entire Mo Mansion. Inside the Mo Mansion, Mo Lehigh was cultivating inside his secret chamber. There were 17 hand-sized puppets releasing demonic light and floating around his body. Bursts of demonic spiritual energy spread out from Mo Lehigh. This demonic spiritual energy was connecting with the 17 puppets and creating a perfect cycle. At this moment, Mo Lehigh suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze was like lightning and seemed to be able to penetrate the secret chamber to see the man outside the Mo Mansion. The man released a sound of surprise and revealed a faint smile. He didn't stop as he arrived before the Mo Mansion. He didn't seem to use any spells, but the gate to the Mo Mansion was reduced pieces and was blown back. While the debris was blowing back, 2 miserable groans were heard. A large amount of blood mist gushed out from two guards as they were thrown into the depths of the mansion. Daolu Sword Sect's 12th Sword, Mo Yang, wishes to greet Lord Mo Lihai. A calm voice came out from his mouth. He didn't stop as he walked into the Mo mansion and made his way toward the secret chamber where Mo Lihai was in closed-door cultivation. Countless soldiers and Mo Lihai's subordinates all rushed over. However, anyone who got within 10 feet of this person would silently shatter into a bloody mist. Along the way, there were many sounds of explosions, and no one could stop him. Even some of the buildings and fake mountains were destroyed, just like the gate was. Just at this moment, a short figure appeared before him. The moment this figure appeared, all of the demonic spiritual energy in his body spread out to resist this man from the Daolu Sword Sect. The man from the Daolu Sword Sect slightly shook his head and continued to walk forward without stopping. The short person's face paled. He had a feeling he wasn't facing a person, but a sword. A sword that had already revealed its sharpness. The short person involuntarily stepped back. When he retreated several feet, a hand pushed up against his back. At this moment, the short person let out a deep breath of relief. 3 people had appeared behind him. The 3 of them were all white-haired old men. They stood there and coldly looked at the man from the Daolu Sword Sect. The man from the Daolu Sword Sect's gaze landed on the 3 old men, then he faintly smiled and continued to walk forward. The 3 old men revealed serious expressions and were about to use their spells when a low voice suddenly appeared from behind them. "Who sent you?" This voice was filled with majesty. The 3 elders immediately and respectfully moved out of the way, revealing Mo Lihai's imposing figure. When Mo Lihai looked at the young man from the Daolu Sword Sect, his eyes were as bright as burning flames. This aura right now was even more imposing than when he faced Wang Lin in ancient Demon City. The man from the Daolu Sword Sect's eyes lit up as he stopped and said, "Demon General Mo Fei." Mo Lihai frowned and shouted, "What is it?" "I am here to deliver a challenge letter for General Mo Lihai from Lord Mo Fei." The young man calmly waved his hand and a ray of golden light shot out before stopping before Mo Lihai. Mo Lihai's expression was gloomy as he looked at the golden token before him. There was only one word on it: battle. 3 days from now, outside the ancient Path Hall. After the man from the Daolu Sword Sect finished speaking, he turned around and left. But just as he turned around, his entire body stiffened and he released a powerful aura. This aura was extremely powerful, far more powerful than the one he emitted when he entered the Mo Mansion. His eyes glowed brightly as he looked at a slender figure that had appeared 1,000 feet before him and said, "Purple Division's 7th disciple, Wang Lin." Mo Lihai only noticed Wang Lin's appearance now, and this made him relax a bit. Wang Lin didn't even look at the person and continued to walk forward. However, in the view of the man from the Daolu Sword Sect, there was a hint of anger. The man from the Daolu Sword Sect coldly said, "Rumor has it that the 7th disciple of the Purple Division is extremely arrogant. Seeing you today, it looks like the rumors are true." Wang Lin walked toward the person as if he hadn't heard him at all. The man from the Daolu Sword Sect's aura surged out and locked onto Wang Lin like an unsheathed sword. Just at the moment his aura reached its peak, Wang Lin passed him by without even pausing. The man from the Daolu Sword Sect was startled, but he immediately became even more angry. He turned around to look at Wang Lin, who was walking away, and shouted, "Wang Lin, did you hear me?" Wang Lin continued to walk toward his living quarters. The eyes of the man from the Daolu Sword Sect turned cold. As one of the 12 swords of the Daolu Sword Sect, his status was the same as the 7 heavenly disciples, very famous. However, he was being completely ignored by this person. The man let out a cold short as he disappeared before reappearing in front of Wang Lin and coldly saying, "Wang." Without waiting for him to finish, Wang Lin raised his head and said, "For a cultivator to be so easily angered, your 1,000 years of cultivation is a big disappointment." If it was someone from the All-Seers generation, the man would have humbly accepted it, but hearing it from Wang Lin was extremely irritating. He laughed in anger, but his eyes became even colder and he said, "I want to see what you managed to achieve in your 1,000 years of cultivation." Wang Lin shook his head and calmly said, "Move out of the way." The man from the Duel Sword Sect laughed as his hand formed a seal and a ray of sword energy condensed before him. It split from 1 into 2, 2 into 4, and continued until there were 64 rays of sword energy, and they all flew toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was calm and he didn't even look at the 64 rays of sword energy. The sword energy fell on Wang Lin, but at this moment, there was a flash of the life seals. The sword energy rays collided with the life seals and all disappeared. Is that all the power you have? It looks like your 1,000 years of cultivation are not only a disappointment, but also a complete waste. Wang Lin shook his head. The man from the Duel Sword Sect's expression changed greatly and his face was filled with disbelief. Although those 64 rays of sword energy weren't his strongest move, it was not a weak spell. Upon seeing Wang Lin so easily withstand it, his heart shook greatly. What spell is that? This person didn't use any treasures, but when my sword energy closed in on his body, it collapsed. Even the dragon sword of the 12 swords can't do this. As Wang Lin shook his head, he continued to walk forward. The man from the Duel Sword Sect subconsciously took a few steps back, then he took a deep breath and placed his hand on the large sword. Wang Lin frowned, then he coldly looked at the person and said, "Scram. Today you came to deliver the challenge letter, so I won't kill you. You are merely at the peak of the late stage of soul transformation, the same cultivation level as me. Even if your spell is powerful, there is no way for you to withstand this sword." The man from the Duel Sword Sect's eyes became serious. He no longer wasted any more words as he moved his right hand and the treasured sword behind his back flew out. Rumble, rumble, rumble. It was as if a bolt of lightning had flown across the sky as a giant, purple sword suddenly appeared above this person. This sword gave off a powerful sword energy, and the moment it appeared, it surrounded the area in a powerful sword intent. There was a mysterious symbol engraved on the sword. The illusion of a giant, purple ram appeared from the symbol and released a violent aura. It fused with the sword and caused the sword intent of the sword to become even stronger. Final ram sword slash. As the man shouted, the celestial spiritual energy inside his body surged out. He immediately slashed down with his right hand, and at the same time, the large sword in the air moved. It crashed down upon Wang Lin with an unimaginable amount of sword energy. Mo Lihai's expression changed, and he immediately began to back up. The people behind him also backed up, and in the blink of an eye, they had backed away more than a few thousand feet. The giant sword descended like a bolt of lightning, and thunderous roars accompanied its descent. Wang Lin's expression was still neutral. Although this giant sword had power and was especially powerful with the ram soul fused into it, this man before him didn't have the ability to use the full power of the ram soul. A waste of a good sword. As Wang Lin said that, he lifted his right hand to the man from the Duel Sword Sect's extreme shock. Wang Lin grabbed the sword. At the moment he grabbed the sword, the life seals around his hand flashed like crazy and more than 1,000 life seals covered his hand. Roars came out from the giant sword, and the ram soul inside the sword struggled like crazy in its attempt to break free from Wang Lin. However, Wang Lin's right hand was like the palm of an ancient god, so no matter how hard it struggled, it wouldn't move Wang Lin's hand a single inch. The evil ram soul in the giant sword let out a monstrous roar. Its eyes were currently filled with an unyielding gaze, and like a primordial beast, it opened its mouth and tried to devour Wang Lin. Although it was just a sword spirit and therefore an illusion, everyone nearby felt like they could smell the fishy breath of the ram as it tried to devour Wang Lin. Evil animal, you dare? Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and a flash of red appeared in them. Then the slaughter intent shot out from his eyes and directly entered the ram soul. The ram soul let out a miserable cry as its body was destroyed by the slaughter intent. The specks of life from the collapsed ram quickly returned to the giant sword, and at this moment, the sword stopped struggling. What Wang Lin did just now was almost exactly the same as when the All-Seer was able to make the god-slaying war chariot collapse with just the point of his finger. Mo Lihai couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air when he saw all of this. He couldn't help but reveal a complex expression while looking at Wang Lin. He was able to become so strong in just 3 months. Even the vice-commander-in-chief isn't his match, and he is able to subdue such a powerful sword spirit. If he had a spell this strong 3 months ago, I would have lost without a doubt. The Dalu Sword Sect's Mo Yang's body trembled and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. This life treasure sword being taken by someone else caused his soul to be damaged. He would have never thought that this Wang Lin would be this strong, or else, no matter what, he wouldn't have come here by himself. He clenched his teeth, then his right hand pointed at his forehead, he took a deep breath, and revealed a determined look. His final ace was a strand of sword energy that his master gifted him. There was a total of 12 rays of this sword energy, and each of the 12 swords was given one. This was the ultimate life-saving treasure, so it couldn't be carelessly used, or else the remaining 400+ years in this demon spirit land would be extremely hard. But if he didn't use it now, he might not be able to leave. As Wang Lin looked at Mo Yang, his eyes lit up and he slowly said, "You can leave. This video will end here."